Smith has picked up Barry Hall at full-back.
So we're set to go on the Heritage Weekend round here at the SCG. Round 19. Can the Swans pop back into the top 4? And can Hawthorn keep their season alive as O'Loughlin over to Davis. Running hard, Bolton. Out towards the forward 50. Good start by Sydney. Schneider on a lead. Takes the mark. Plenty of attention from Osborne. Certainly a stack of attention. Schneider, dangerous left footer, and he just lays it off to Davis, who has kicked 25 goals, 15 for the season. And there are certain plays in the game that I enjoy watching have a set shot for goal, and this is one of them.
Well, Nick Davis, normally it's just a beautiful kick. That was just too easy, wasn't it, Matty? To get the ball into Davis in that area of the ground. Not good defence by the Hawks.
Davis for the first goal of the evening. It's close, but he's pulled it left. So as soon as we mention that he is a good kick for goal, it's a behind.
Well, he has kicked 25 goals for the season, and he's regarded as one of the best kicks in the competition. This man on screen's got a big job tonight. He's gone to Barry Hall at the start of the game. Barry has been playing at centre-half forward, but he did line up in the goal square with Snyder alongside him. Joel Smith giving away a bit of size and weight to Barry Hall, as Graham has got it. Coming into the side tonight, Holland, Barker, Everett and Graham for the Hawks. 694 games of experience. It's a big match for the Hawks. They want to keep their finals hopes alive. So the Brewers back all the big guns. They might lack a bit of match practice, but they're hoping their experience will see them through. Chance for Creswell. He'll be on a high. Named in the team of the century. Finds Goods. Takes a slips catch. Too far out to score. Goods short. Finds Kirk. Having a fantastic season. He's got the job playing on Shane Crawford. Being mentioned as an All-Australian. Tagging type player has never made it in the All-Australian side, and this man is marked on his chest, O'Loughlin.
Luke Hodge might have the job on O'Loughlin, Kev, and it looks like O'Loughlin's pushing forward.
Well, he started the season very slowly and had injuries, Tony, but over the last 5 or 6 weeks, he has been a star.
16 goals in the last 5 weeks. He's been excellent.
32 goals for the season. Michael O'Loughlin. A veteran now of 178 games. Got plenty of goal space. Good goal space here. You can see at the SCG. Great camera work. This is a wonderful kick. It's fading left. And through for a minor score.
Crowd still building here at the SCG.
Just saw young Osborne maybe making contact with an umpire there. I don't think anything could be done with that. Just making sure the umpire wasn't in his way. Have to be careful with that though, KB.
Yes, a couple of week at least.
This is Rees. Straight up the middle. Looking for and finding Hodge. Now he can go wider and does. Out to the run of Loney. Into the side. Long ball. All Swans going back though. And Lewis Roberts-Thompson, or LRT as we like to call him, takes the mark. Rising Star nomination this round. Williams. Wonderful kick. Good skills by the Swans as Schneider gives it off to the run of Barry Hall. That is not a good one. Vandenberg got it over to Piccioni in the end via Green. Not a good kick from him. Sydney under a bit of pressure here. Goods got it from Bolton. Backs himself. Poor kick. Piccioni in it again for Hawthorn. Bolton comes through. Tough at the ball. And now we've got a boundary throw-in.
What about the acceleration for a ruckman then, Tony? Just great acceleration there by Adam Goods.
He's going to run. He'll run Peter Everett around today. I think Peter Everett, or tonight, Peter Everett will be used off the bench sparingly, I would think, in his first game back after 7 weeks.
Yep. Well, be interesting to see how that transpires, given that Lewis Roberts-Thompson was very good in the second half last week. That's a beautiful knock, but unfortunately Williams is there for the Swans. Schneider. Whoops, indecision. Around about 60 metres. Kicks it long, 2-on-1, favouring Hawthorn. Graham, quick to get boot to ball on the chest of Richie Vandenberg.
Who's marked on the half-back flank. We just saw Snyder then. Many at Sydney think that he's the fastest player on their list. Snyder, Adam Snyder, and he's enjoying a great first season. There's a free kick. Osborne, the young man from Labrador, drills the ball in, looking for Leckers. Couldn't quite take it. Bolton there, crashed into. They'll pile on top. Reese is there for the Hawks. And we've got a ball up on the half-forward flank.
Looks like Richie Vandenberg's running with Paul Williams for the Swans.
Nick Holland starting on the bench there alongside Cox and Johnny Barker as well. So 2 tours to come back onto the field. Some marking power. Don't want to have all those players on the field at once, Tony, who've missed so many games for the Hawks. It's all or nothing tonight. Here's Williams. He's been a star for the Swans this year. Gets the ball across to Creswell. Rockets the ball wide to Snyder. To O'Loughlin. Runs to 45. Closes to 40 and kicks a goal. A point. Wow.
I don't think you were the only one that thought that was a goal, KB.
That man
did. The
did.
Sydney crowd did.
That man certainly did.
We've got to stop watching those young ladies behind the goals who have been there for 50 years.
All those
They all went
kids
up.
from St Clair. Said, please give him a plug. Here's Everett on the stretch, takes it. Mitchell wanted it. He was ignored. Rockets the ball to Vandenberg. Backs himself in. He's on the charge. Runs to 50. Vandenberg closes the 45 as well. This time, kicks a goal.
Well,
Vandenberg.
What a turnover, KB. They moved the ball down. O'Loughlin kicks a point, and it just shows sides are set up. Everett from the wing, a 25-metre handball. He marks it here in front of Goods. Had to take the arms away. Good rebound. He looks fresh at the moment, but I tell you, it'll tell. And look at Richie Vandenberg running the lines. He's playing on Paul Williams. Takes, balances up. Smart play. Ran as close to goals as possible. Great conversion.
Wonderful start to Vandenberg, the first goal, and Hawthorn 3 points in front. Very quick transfer of play for that first goal. Everett. They all went early. Matthews. High ball. Here comes Hall. Couldn't quite get it. And falls into his arms. Gives it out to Roberts-Thompson. Back to Matthews, who's run on. Good smother. It's not out of danger that. Matthews again. Loney under pressure from Schneider. Osborne. Didn't get it far. Maxfield around the corner. Only as far as Pachoni for Hawthorn. He's over to Rees. To Crawford. Again, Hawthorn goes straight up the middle. Promising. To Williams on a lead. Now open forward line. For Rawlings on a lead. Free kick. Push in the back. Swans fans not happy. Rawlings will take a shot at goal. Leo Barry. He's looking up. He wants to see the replay, Leo.
Well, I look behind play. Jade Rawlings zigzagged a couple of times before that ball was kicked in, and there wasn't a lot in that free kick.
No wonder he wants to see the replay.
I don't think they'd be happy with that one. Jade Rawlings, as we said in pre-match, been a fantastic forward for the Hawks.
One of 3 Hawks to play every game this season. He's lining up for goal number 30. Metres out. Not too bad. Umpire has a good long look at it. It's going to be behind.
Memories come flooding back of last week's game, Matty, when it was a crucial goal against Port Adelaide.
So the Sydney Swans to bring the ball back into play. The Hawks 1-1-7. Swans 3 behinds. Ty Canelli. Young man from Ireland. He's made such a big impression. They speak of him as maybe a future captain of the Sydney Swans. Goes long. Big bomb. Everett pushing and shoving from behind. Takes the grab. Finds Green. Across the half-forward line. Looking for Thompson. Gets him on the stretch. Dixon runs hard. Just tumbles the ball inside 50. And a good grab taken by Shawble. This is where the Swans can break quickly. Matthews has got to beat Hodge. It's tied up in the tackles. There's no free kick, and we've got a boundary throw in.
Luke Hodge playing across half back now, KB. He's moved there in the last month or so for Hawthorn. He just reads the play so well, and he's got beautiful disposal.
Everett. Back after 7 weeks on the sidelines. Swans trying to keep the ball alive. Hodge again, clever play. Puts his body on the line. Rees, much improved player, across to Dixon. From half-back, drills it in. It's been intercepted, taken by Kirk. Danger here. Snyder on a long lead. He is quick. He's a big left foot kick. In fact, he's a thumping kick. This young man has made such a big impression. 25 goals in just 19 games.
Left footer, thumping left footer kick.
Snyder from right on 50. Leans back. Unloads. And the Bloods have their first goal.
I haven't heard the Bloods for a fair while.
Well, that's what they were called.
Yeah.
Back in 1933, Heritage Week, the Bloods. And that's the jumper they wore when they beat the Tigers in the 1933 Premiership.
It's been a great find, hasn't he?
and also in 34, so it stopped the Tigers winning 3 on the trot.
It's been a great find, Adam Snyder. Brett Kirk set that up. That's what he's got to do against Shane Crawford, having the tagging role in midfield. Set up shots on goal for the Swans.
Snyder, the Rising Star nomination for round 5, and it looks like, Tony, they're prepared to just play him out of the goal square. There's the first change for Hawthorn. Peter Everett having his first spell.
Well, this will happen to a lot tonight, I think, with the 4 talls of Hawthorn.
Holland in the ruck. Saddington was there, but only as far as Mitchell for Hawthorn. High ball, inside forward 50. Thompson was the target. Here's Kirk. He'll give out the back. Very messy there, the Swans. Davis was trying to get through. Kirk. Bolton underneath all that. Crawford over the top, appealing. No free kick.
Started well, the Hawks.
Sydney 1-3, Hawthorn 1-1. Over the top came Goods. Saddington wrapped up quickly by Green and Holland.
Scott Stevens just come on for his first run tonight.
There's Goods again. Davis. She got plenty on that. Off half a step. Hodge to spoil. Was over the top of Stevens. Underneath all that was Clark. And we'll have another ball up.
Stewie Maxfield had an interrupted season with injury, and it looks like young Tim Clark's got the run with job with him. There's Scott Stevens. Gone the centre half forward for the Swans. That's a free kick against Barry Hall.
Yes, a little bit clumsy there. Quickly, though. Hawthorn move it through Leckus. Williams was the target, but chipping across and taking a good mark is Shawball.
Well, he's been a success story since you come to the Sydney Swans, Tony.
Yes, one of best and fairest from the Swans when he moved from Collingwood. Been a fantastic player.
Kicks to another former Pie, Nick Davis, edge of the centre square, penetrating kicks and pushing and shoving. Trying to give away the free kick was Osborne. Wanting the free kick was Snyder. We'll come back. We'll go to the Hawks.
You mentioned the best and fairest. The Swans have got the last 4 best and fairest winners from different clubs.
Yeah, Paul Williams,
Wayne Swass,
and Andrew Shawball.
So the Hawks keeping possession. Stephen Green still inside the defensive 50. Just over 10 minutes left in this opening quarter. Leckus has it across half back. 12 and 6, the Sydney Swans are in 4th spot, leading into this Heritage round. And the Hawks 8 and 10 in 10th spot, but still a chance to make the finals this year after a very poor start. Green is a ball carrier. Again, a poor kick, needing a kind bounce is Hodge. Took it with clean hands, finds Thompson, just pushes off Stevens. Now the run comes. It's going to go very close. It's going to actually bounce through for a behind, and that came from Clark.
No doubt the instructions, I would think, with Peter Swab is that we've got to run the Swans. They've got a couple of players in midfield, the Swans, who aren't that quick across the ground, Creswell. So those types, even Kirk isn't that quick. They'd be thinking run the lines, take chances, and they're showing that. They're running in 2s and 3s at the moment.
Let's head down to the boundary with Tiff Cherry.
Fitness staff were keeping Peter Everett warm. He's only just sat down after about 5 minutes coming off. Obviously, with his hamstring, it's very imperative that they keep that warm before he comes back on.
Rawlings takes a very good mark, so he'll drive it back in for the Hawks. They're down by a point. On the lead and getting it nicely is Leckus. Well weighted kick by Rawlings.
Well, he's a good player, and this man, hasn't he had an impact in the forward line for Hawthorn as a smaller player? Angelo Leckus kicked bags of 2s and 3s every week.
3 last week against Port Adelaide.
Normally a defender, or started his career as a small defender, pushed into the midfield. Now he's turned it right around. A goal kicking forward. 28 goals 8, Tony. So he's been very accurate. So we've probably put the muzzle on him here. But this to put the Hawks back in front. Not that
straight
time,
through. Wonderful finish by Leckus. And the Hawks have the lead again. And as you mentioned, Tony, I guess they're playing the smarter footy at the moment.
Well, they are. Look, they've got Dixon playing off halfback, nearly as a loose man in defence. And they're just starting from the middle of the ground. Rees is in there. Mitchell has been a fantastic player, but this man here, Lekas, he knows how to find space. He's a smart player. And as you said, his accuracy is brilliant this season.
Angelo Lekas on screen, 2-2-14 the Hawks. The Swans 1-3-9.
They've been impressive, KB, the Hawks early.
Well, they've had a pretty good second half of the season, haven't they, Hawthorn? The performance last week was absolutely first class. And they've brought back all the big guns tonight. They realise just how important it is. Here's Mitchell, who one of their best players also in recent weeks. Sam Mitchell, he's a ball winner, gets it across the green, who just hammers the ball in deep. Williams in front. And this young man is a live wire. 5 goals in just 9 games, but he looks dangerous.
I think he kicked 3 or 4 last week. He kicked 3 against Gavin Wanganeen. So if you can kick 3 against a player of Gavin Wanganeen's ability, and here he just leads out well. Jared Crouch, who normally is an on-baller tagger, wouldn't be like playing at full back for the Swans.
Well, Crouch is one of the best taggers in the business, and he's very, very quick. Won the grand final sprint. Williams from 48 metres. He likes it. And the Mayblooms have goal number 3.
The Mayblooms. They were also called the Mustard Pots at one time.
Lord,
the Mustard Pots at one time in their career. That was their name. And the Mayblooms. But there he is, Mark Williams. And he's an unlikely type. Look at Sam Mitchell, in and under, free kick for over the shoulder. Gee, he's been the best at hardball gets at Hawthorn this season by far. And Williams, how he can get that space on the lead. Jared Crouch, as I said, does not like playing as a tagger from out of the goal square.
Williams continues his good form for the Mustard Pots.
As he puts the glove back on.
They were definitely the Mayblooms back in 1925 when they came into the competition.
I know that for a fact. There was a trivia question they had one night. The Mustard Pots at some time in their history.
Well, the Hawks are in front by 11 points, and they're doing well. Sydney, though, in attack. Hall, right with him, Smith, and works it nicely. Couldn't panic. Throws it on the left. Lekas to target. Good spoil from Saddington. Front and square. Williams got it out to Goods. Too far out to score. He's 70 metres out from goal. He wants to move it quickly. Schneider and Osborne, or Hall and Graham. Take your pick. Over the back. It's Barry off the ground. Good finish by Barry Hall. An answering goal of the Swans, and the margin is back to 5 points.
Well, they've made a change now. Mark Graham is playing on Barry Hall. If they can get the ball in quick enough to Barry Hall, I think he'd be too strong for Mark Graham and also too quick. On this occasion, Adam Goods kicks the ball in the top of the square. You can see, I think Barry Hall should have been paid for nearly shepherding then or pushing the back either way, but he just had better recovery than Mark Graham.
$47 goals now for the season to Barry Hall. Joel Smith again decides to have another crack at him.
Well, as soon as he pushes out the centre half forward, KB, Joel Smith will come out with him. If he goes to full back, Mark Graham will take him.
So they've got O'Loughlin in the square in front of Snyder, and just 20 metres out in front is Barry Hall. So the three-pronged attack for the Sydney Swans. Green tried to tickle it, taken by Stevens. Here's Kirk. What a season. Tumbles the ball back. Dangerous kick. Taken by Osborne. Punishing left foot kick. Finds Pachoni's. It's on the half-back flank. Green wants it short. Lekas was on a long lead. That's been ignored. Getting back is Kennelly in front. Should take the grab. Marks in front of Thompson. Sydney Swans defence. Pretty strong unit. Hard working. Here's Saddington. They run the ball. Great smother off the boot that time. That came from Loney. Here's a chance now. Big bad Barry goes short. Looking for Kirk out in front. Couldn't take it. Ground level. Hodge finds Osborne. A couple of youngsters combined to Mitchell. Centre of the ground at the SCG. Here comes Rawlings in front of Barry. Again, was he interfered with? No free kick. Crunch. Fearless Fosdyke went down. Vandenberg playing in front. Kept his body on the line. Ties up Crouch. And we've got a ball up 45 metres out from the Hawks' goal.
Gee, Jade Rawlings, I think Leo Barry would have been worried about that, because that free kick and a big bump there by Williams on Fosdyke. Both very similar instances. Didn't get the free kick that time.
Jude Bolton has come back onto the ground. Head to the centre square. Hodge with strength. Feeds the ball off to Dixon. He's on centre wing. Penetrating kick. Again, Goods gets back. Playing in front of Thompson. Just so mobile as Adam Goods is a dangerous player. And Williams has got it out wide. Always a beautiful kick to Snyder, who's playing in the forward pocket, but he's obviously can roam up the field. Canali. Head to the centre square. Here comes O'Loughlin. Really worked Graham out of position. Finally thumped back over the line for a boundary throw-in.
And just here, Pachoni on Stevens. Nothing in that, I would think.
Boundary throw-in, 40 metres around from the Sydney goal. They trail by 5 points. Thompson and Hall. Thompson to Dixon. Nice knock. Graham, a little bit of time. Measures the kick nicely. Out to a good lead from Clark. Clark. Short to Vandenberg. So the Hawks just settle it down here. They've been running it fairly quickly.
The way they've ran the ball this quarter, they'll be pretty tired by the last quarter. You'd think they'd want to have a fair lead.
Goes for distance and tumbles it over the end. And fortunately for Hawthorn, Mitchell was just standing there and the ball almost fell into his arms. Mitchell now. There's Rawlings on a long lead. Got away from Barry. Fine kick from Mitchell to his advantage so he could run onto it. And Rawlings just held up his lead nicely and took the mark.
What about Sam Mitchell, KB? I think it's a great story in that he was discarded so many times, put onto the rookie list and then made it. He's a ball magnet. He watched the ball in that marking contest when it was a bad kick. But the thing about it is I think it gives confidence to other players who are built like him, not super quick, but can get the ball.
And he leads the clearances for Hawthorn and the centre clearances.
By
He's in and under. Rawlings missed one earlier. Got that one. Another goal to Hawthorn.
Yeah, Sam Mitchell was one of those players. He won the Liston Trophy with 10 best on ground performances from 11 games, but then just couldn't still make his mark with Hawthorn. But this year he's just taken a huge step, hasn't he? In the starting four, in that centre square, wins a lot of the ball and can use it very well. He's not the doesn't look to be the quickest player, but he's sort of
smart.
He's smart. He's built like and plays a bit like Creswell and Williams and those sorts of players. Just knows how to win the ball and he's got good body strength.
Well, the thing about our game, we keep saying there's so many stoppages, you've got to have a player who's good at it. And I think Jude Bolton's taken the spot maybe of a Darren Creswell coming to the end of his career for the Swans. Now Sam Mitchell's put his hand up for the Hawks.
Peter Swab on the blower. 4-2-26 the Hawks. Sydney 2-3-15. Lead by 11 points. They've had 4 individual goal kickers. Lewis, Roberts, Thompson in the ruck. There's Mitchell. Speak of the devil. Tied up in the tackle by fearless Fosdyke. Let's go down to Tiffany Cherry.
Adam Schneider, who, as you've seen, has done a fair bit of running. He's just having a spell and getting his calves rubbed on, so a little bit of a break for him.
Well, he's had the most possessions for the Swans, 6. Adam Goods has got it 5 times. Vandenberg, possession number 5 to the half-forward line. Looking for Johnny Barker. Tried to find Leckers. And running the ball out was Saddington.
Deliberate, was it? No. I thought he was going to signal deliberate then. That would have been
fairly harsh.
Yeah.
So it's a boundary throw and it's 35 metres around from Hawthorn's goal. Thompson to do the ruck work. Finds Mitchell. He's an absolute ball magnet. Back to Vandenberg. Enjoying a good first quarter high ball. Rawlings looks dangerous. Got his hands on the ball, couldn't take it. Caught was Leo Barry. It's tough in close. Les Mitchell again bounces off like a pinball machine. Couldn't quite take it. Here's Crawford, strong tackle. And falling on top is Mitchell. He means business.
Well, have a look at his build too, KB. He can take some punishment, Sam Mitchell. He's built, fairly solidly, I would say.
Likes
short to the ground.
Likes it in the clinches.
Nick Fosdyke's got to tighten up.
Kirk playing very close attention to Crawford. You can see him there on screen, 31 against 9. There's Crawford, the tackler.
Oh, free kick.
Leading tackler this year for Hawthorn.
Free kick to Thompson, holding in the ruck against Robert Thompson.
So Thompson will be shooting directly in front from just 25 metres out. kicked 22 goals for the season. This is a great start by the Hawks.
I was trying to be nice to Sam Mitchell. How do you say stocky or without saying he's not overweight, he's just built solidly.
Built like a brick outhouse. Thompson hits the post. Bad miss.
Disappointed with that. Should have finished from there. 2 straight kicks the difference now. So often when you see a miss like that, gets up the other end very quickly.
Well, especially at this ground.
Yep. What will the Swans do? They break from the centre huddle. Hawthorn stay with their zone as Williams finds Matthews. 2.5 minutes remaining in this first quarter. Back to Barry. Now he's got a bit of space he can play on, but there's not a lot to kick to here. Hawthorn have done this well. Had to go short to Shawble. Up the line towards centre wing. Not a good kick. In fact, out of bounds on the full as Luke Hodge decides that he doesn't really need to be on the bench at the minute. They did that well then, Hawthorn. They spread wide and they zoned off. They forced the error.
Well, Matty, at this ground, if you're in the midfield, you want to force your player right to the wing because it is so wide the ground, but a very short straight up the middle from goal to goal.
This is Johnson. That is a penetrating kick in. Rawlings over the back, couldn't quite mark it. Bolton. Fosdyke slams it onto the boot towards O'Loughlin. Graham did well. He's going to be wrapped up. Ball spills free. Umpire decides he can play on from there. Bolton out to Maxfield. Searching handball forward, only as far as Graham for Hawthorn. Back through the middle, this is Loney. Players out wide everywhere for Hawthorn. Here's Mitchell. Is he off? No. Benefit of the doubt to Sam Mitchell, having a fine first quarter, lays it off to Lekas. Good work once again by the Hawks.
He is having a brilliant first quarter. That's his 8th possession. As I said, Nick Fosdyke has to man up. Matter of fact, Fosdyke tried to tackle in the middle of the ground and then went to ground, so that meant that Sam Mitchell could push forward.
Already seen Lekas kick a goal in this first term. This to put the Hawks 18 points in front. From the reverse angle, Lekas to cap off a good start. Gee, that has only just made the distance. Really didn't kick through there. And just the behind, margin 13 points.
You look back the kicks, KB, you look back the kicks and Nathan Thompson. You know, those goals when you're that far out, and that's what you get paid to do, that can have an impact even later in the game. I know it doesn't cost you the game, but when they could have blown it out to a 3-goal lead early in the first quarter.
Well, if anything, they're kicking against a breeze in this first quarter, the Hawks, yet they won the toss and they kicked right of screen. See the flags up on the grandstand, on the Bill O'Reilly stand, certainly heading down left of screen, which is the end that the Sydney Swans are kicking to. Lewis Roberts-Thompson in front. He was held from behind by Thompson. There was no free kick. Crawford has got his hands full with Kirk. He's doing a good job early in the game. Fosdyke comes away from half back, just wobbles the ball in, looking for Creswell. Roberts-Thompson crunched that time by Hodges, a strong tackler. Well, Crawford's just had the 1 kick so far, and Kirk's had 5 possessions.
Well, you keep up that average, and you're going to do your job by the end of the night. Maybe sneak a couple of goals on Crawford by pushing forward.
Well, he's taken on most of the big guns of the competition. There's Kirk, the tackler. He's the leading tackler for the Swans this year. He's going to test the patience of Shane Crawford tonight.
The leading tackler in the AFL, KB.
Can I retract that statement about maybe not having super speed? Brett Kirk. Fantastic tackle. They do a lot of work with the rugby league players up here in Sydney.
So it's a ball up on centre wing. Thompson gets his hands on the ball first. Nicks off the bench as the siren sounds. A very good opening turn for Hawthorn. 4-4-28. They lead by 13 points, 2-3-15.
In the Heritage Weekend, Rawlings has been a good target up forward for them.
He's had a terrific season, hasn't he, Jade Rawlings? Because early in the season when Thompson was out and Holland was out and Barker was out, it was left to Jade Rawlings to really be the focal point up forward. Sometimes even threw him down back.
Smith on Hall. We'll get to Smith shortly, Tony. You've got a theory on where he should be?
Yep.
Underway for the second quarter then. Everett just laying it down to Pachoni. Ball comes out towards Mitchell. Bolton. Free kick in the back, fairly clear there.
Yeah, Matty, I just think about Joel Smith. I'd rather have him across half forward no matter who's his opponent, either Hall or O'Loughlin.
Here's Goods. In that direction. Osborne. The spoil came. There's Smith with Hall. There's a free kick. It's going back to that contest. It's going back to Joel Smith.
When the umpire said that Barry Hall threw it from ground level, he was in fairly good position right there next to him.
Let's have a look.
He did. Oh, open hand. Well done to the umpire.
Great spot. This is Hodge. Everett. Belated attempt at a smother by Goods. May have just forced the error, though. Matthews is under some pressure. Likewise, Bolton, but very good. Kept it alive. Back to Matthews, to Kennelly. Whoops! That's come off Adam Goods' feet. That's got to be out of bounds on the full.
Peter Everett to take the free kick. He's across half back. Mitchell is the leading possession winner for Hawthorn with 8, and Matthews and Goods along with Snyder 6 possessions apiece. Peter Everett to the half forward line. Thompson's going to be the target, and with body strength got rid of his opponent that time in Shawbull. Pounced on, pumped the ball back by Leckers. There's a chance. Just tumbling the ball, happy to see it over the line. Ty Kennelly.
How did you see that Nathan Thompson Shawbull marking contest, KB? He got rid of him, but it must have been within 5 metres as he bumped him.
Bit of body pressure, Tony. Gee. Didn't like it?
Well, just over the top. It had to be inside 5. That's the only reason it'd be legal.
Kirk thought he hadn't lost it. Bolton tried to crash his way through. Flexed the muscles and blew up the biceps. Here's a chance now for Creswell. Comes away from half back. Centre of the ground, Dixon. Out in front of Davis. Marks on his chest. He's made the transition from forward line to back line. He's got good skills across there. Here's Vandenberg. Pumps the ball in. Getting back is Peter Everett. That was a wonderful kick. Everett running onto space. Didn't even have to break stride. Should kick a goal.
Well, good, hard forward running by Peter Everett. I think he's got to do this a lot more in his career. He should be kicking a lot more goals. And there's Adam Goods. You can just see Adam Goods following in there. 37, bad defensive play.
Big Spider from just 20 metres out. Kicks a goal. Well, such a dangerous player up forward. Do you remember the time when Timmy Watson played him at full forward for a couple of weeks, and one game I think he kicked 8, and the following week he kicked, maybe 7. He can kick goals. He can be a huge danger up forward when you're about 6'7". He's got great skills. He's agile. You would think he should be able to kick a lot of goals during the course of a game.
No doubt. I think he kicked 35 in 6 games, KB, but Adam Goods on that occasion had to be goal side of Peter Everett.
Peter Everett with his first. Kicked 4 last time these two sides met in that loss to, well, that win over the Swans at the MCG. Let's go to Tiffany Cherry on the boundary.
There was some talk before the game that John Barker wouldn't play. He's just come back from a calf injury and he's sitting in on the bench with his tracky pants on, so wouldn't expect much of an impact from him.
Here's Roberts-Thompson. Bolton bursting through. Long ball into the pocket. O'Loughlin didn't take it. Osborne made sure that he let him know. Free kick to O'Loughlin.
Well, he wasn't to know, Michael Osborne, that O'Loughlin had dropped the mark, Matty, but he made him pay anyway.
Oh, sure did.
He's a hard nut, Osborne.
Yep.
Here it is. He dropped the mark, and no doubt about the free kick.
And can play on big names. I saw him play against Port Adelaide when Sean Burgoyne had booted 5 goals in the first half, and they put Osborne on him in the second half and held him goalless. So he's not trying to play on a big name player.
It's on Schneider at the moment.
Michael O'Loughlin got a lot of strapping on his calf muscle too.
Looks like, yeah, he's holding it for the check side and kicks a shocker. Either out of bounds on the full or Everett Mark, take your pick.
Those South Australian check side kicks are hopeless, aren't they?
Oh, look, look at him do that one, KB. Bolton.
What's wrong with running around on your left foot and just kicking a goal on your left foot, Tony? Has that gone out of the game?
Well, if you had a left foot like I had, yes, it had.
The same could be asked, what's wrong with handballing, KB? You seem to have a problem with that for a while.
It was just a fad. It was won't last.
Williams drives it in for Sydney. Here's Goods. Now it's O'Loughlin. Back to O'Keefe. Saddington into Mines, goes across the ground to Bolton. He's under some pressure again. Oh, gets free, runs inside 50, straightens up and kicks a point.
So a couple of chances missed by the Sydney Swans. Smith to bring the ball back into play. Here's Bolton. Got away from Thompson, but
Yeah,
good chasing.
Yeah,
good chasing by Thompson.
Just enough pressure, wasn't there, KB, then?
Just couldn't take that extra stride, could he then?
They're struggling to get space in their forward line, though. The Swans, the Hawks are doing a good job.
Smith looks for Everett. Like a match practice. Should have taken the mark. Here's Mitchell. He's strong in the tackle. He'll be very tired when the game's over. Sam Mitchell. He'd be good as a knot man in a tug-of-war team, wouldn't he? He'd be a beauty.
Just, Tony, just quickly on Crawford, still only the one disposal. What should Peter Schwab do? Just let him run him out?
Yeah, maybe push him forward either end of the ground, an extra man in defence.
Everett getting his hands on the ball. He was looking for Clark. Just grabbed with one grab that time by Bolton. Hammers the ball back to Davis. He's caught in the tackle by Dixon. Smith to Everett. Looks pretty sharp for a bloke that hasn't played football for a while. Saddington chips in. A bit too tall that time for Leckers.
You either do two things, Matty. You put him forward and see if you can kick a goal against Brett Kirk, or put him in back and make sure you get 7, 8 defenders back there to help your defence.
Hawks by 18 points. Crouch has got it. It's on the edge of the centre square. Now the Hawks have flooded back. They have not got one player their side of the centre, but still they can't stop Barry Hall. I think this has been Barry Hall's best season. He's mainly played at centre-half forward, and he's been terrific for the Swans. Here's Dixon. May have found his niche in defence. Hammers the ball back, looking for a kind bounce. Was Rawlings, got an ugly one. Bolton was the tackler. It's a hurried kick. Vandenberg closes quickly. He's quick and strong. Backs himself in. He's got Matthews to beat. Two tough nuts. Take the ball over. In fact, it's come off his boot. And the free kick go to the Swans. Matthews, short. Finds Schneider. Playing in front of Osborne. He's on centre wing. Joel Smith was facing Barry Hall then. Swans always just looking for that loose player. Creswell. Picked in the team of the century. What a great honour for Darren Creswell. Announced his retirement at the start of the year before the first game. Now he's having second thoughts. Didn't realise the Swans were going to be this good. It's a poor kick. Mitchell caught up in the tackle by Davis and Williams. We've got a ball up on 50.
Normally it's your wife tells you, I want you to retire, Kay, but it was the other way around. Darren Creswell said, I'll retire, and she said, don't make the decision yet.
Don't be stupid. That's another $400,000.
We haven't paid off the house yet.
There's a chance for Loney. Young man on the improve. Looking for Vandenberg. Tried to slap it on. Bolton lost sight of the ball. Hawthorn's been terrific in close. Couldn't hit a target that time. And we've got a boundary throw in.
I remember the day I broke my both legs, KB, and I was in a wheelchair. My wife said, what, you're not playing next week? I want a new dress.
34-16. Crowd trying to get their home team involved here, but the Hawks are standing firm as Rees gives it off to Crawford. Again, Rawlings to target, just trying to help it on its way. Crouch, one of the great stories of the AFL. Hasn't missed a game since he started.
Tackle.
And there is Mitchell again over Leo Barry.
Jade Rawlings has looked dangerous, hasn't he?
Yep.
I reckon he should have taken another 3 marks. He's been in front. He's just dropped a couple of marks that he could have taken.
Leo Barry's a good matchup, KB, because he's fairly quick, and Jade Rawlings runs at the ball straight.
But Rawlings has led him to the ball.
Paul Williams trying to go with Sam Mitchell.
Everett and Goods will do battle. Everett, Crawford. Out the back, it spills to Everett, who says, I'll take it. But unfortunately for the Hawks, a free kick back to Bolton for Sydney. Plays on quickly and using the run of Goods, who just took off as soon as he heard the whistle. Trying to make Everett pay. Chipping in nicely, though. Crawford getting in the way of the lead. Starting to get some disposals. Kick out in front of Big Spider. And we'll have another boundary throw in. 12.5 minutes remaining. Hawks still in control.
The Swans need to find another option up forward. Barry Hall O'Loughlin. They're the only players they go to, so all the other Hawthorn defenders can play off their men and block their space. They've got to find another option. Maybe give Nick Davis the square for 5 or 10 minutes.
Just saw Loney there on Jude Bolton. Here's Goods around the corner. Snyder. Quick hands to Williams. One of their playmakers. He's the general. Can set it up. Does well and finds Bolton. Just outside of 50. Barry Hall says, kick it to me in the goal square. I fancy my chances. Bolton. Just caught in two minds. Just looking for things to open up. Hasn't kicked the goal himself this year. Again, Barry Hall. Never stops moving. Bolton. Can he kick his first goal of the season? From outside 50, it's a long kick right to the line and thumped through by Graham. If we look at Brisbane player, he's done well, hasn't he? He's been a good pickup.
Good pickup. If we look back to that first quarter, and we're talking about the win, KB, you say that the Hawks may have won the toss and kicked against it. Very confident thinking.
Well, we see Crawford. He took it from Sam Mitchell. I think maybe some of the Hawthorn players keen to get Crawford into the game. It's been closely tagged by Brett Kirk. Angelo Lekis on screen. He's kicked 1-1. Hawthorn, of course, playing in the jumper that they first played AFL football in 1925 when they were known as the Mayblooms. First played against South Melbourne back in round 9 of 1925. And they lost by 67 points. Chance for Reese. Dances on a dollar. Backtracks. Conceded ground. Osborne goes short. Finds Loney. Just trying to indicate. Wants a few players to maybe lead so he can get his left foot into action. So there's plenty of hand signals from the Hawks, so he decides to kick long. It's one for the high flyers. Here's Holland. He's spent most of the game on the bench. Along with Barker, here's Kirk. Caught in the tackle that time by Crawford. Here's Holland. Going for a trot. Runs the 50. It was a centering kick. Looking for Thompson's got him. Well, Nathan Thompson hit the post in the first quarter from just 25 metres out. This is a big kick for the Hawks.
Well, Nick Holland, I think it was just as close as Thompson. As you can see here, just on the 50-metre arc, and he's kicked it back to about 45 metres out. Disciplined play by the Hawks. They're on top of their game.
Thompson's a big kick from right on 50. Stands his ground and bangs it through.
Well, the thing about the Hawks, KB, no doubt Peter Schwab has got a strategy of starting all their plays from the back half. They have just got numbers back. They know that the ball's going to O'Loughlin and Hall most of the time. There's Sam Mitchell again. Out to Holland now. That is amazing kick when you have to kick the ball and centre it. You turn that over, it goes down the other end. That's how much they're on top of their game tonight. Very confident in each other. And Nathan Thompson converts.
Well, the Hawks have only won 3 of their last 11 games outside of Victoria, all down in Tasmania. And they may be about to change that record because they lead by 23 points. They've restricted the Swans to just 2 goals from halfway through the second term. Nix. Around the body, gets plenty of distance on the kick. Ball gets past everybody. Hodge gets one high, will take the free kick. The fans are celebrating the goal, but it's not to be.
Just seems to be developing now, Luke Hodge, doesn't he? He wasn't a one-draft pick, and a lot has been said about Luke Ball and also Chris Judd. Got caught high there, but he just gives the impression as he probably gets a little bit older, a little bit more maturity, that he's going to be a very good player, and he's tough and strong. He's
going to be a 10-year player, I think. Now, here's Shane Crawford trying to get away from Kirk, run through the mark, but it has to come back.
Hodge, he wanted Holland. Ball spills over the back to Creswell. Schneider. Look at the pace, and look at the chase from Osborne. Schneider's kick just going to end up with Goods. He spills the mark. Schwabel's lurking. So is Dixon, rushed behind.
The other area of the Hawks game, very impressed with is that Nathan Thompson, who kicked that goal, they've got Nick Holland in the forward line. They've taken Everett off the ground, I think. Yes, I'm having a look. He's off the ground. Now Thompson goes in. They've got 4 players playing in the ruck, which gives them a lot of flexibility.
This is Loney, who got it from Smith. There's Hodge. Back to Loney on his left foot. Beautiful kick.
This boy's very quick, Williams.
In turn, he was looking for Leckersaw. Rawlings, and that is a great movement of the footy by the Hawks. Rawlings wants to get it in there quickly. Thompson is the target. Ball drops short. Big spoil from Adam Goodes. It falls in the hands of Johnson. He gets on his left. He's inside 50. He kicks it long and straight and through. Goal. Great finish by Johnson. He knew what he was on about. He just wanted to get on his left, and he knew he could kick it.
They've got a good structure, Tony. If they can get Barker back fit, and they've got Holland back fit, and Everett, and then you throw in Thompson, and you throw in Rawlings as well, they've got some firepower and some ruck strength.
Oh, yes. And as I said, that ruck rotation tonight, they're changing every 5 to 7 minutes, knowing that those players hadn't played. Everett for 6 or 7 weeks. Holland the same. It's working at the moment. The Swans under pressure.
Well, the Hawks by 28 points, 7-4-46, 2-6-18. And the Hawks are starting to chant around the ground. Sydney's trying to respond. Thompson's in the ruck against Goodes. He's going to come charging in. Got his hands on the ball. Bolton working hard. Strong tackling by Hawthorn tonight. They've been fantastic. Here's Crawford, caught without the ball. Will take the free kick. To Vandenberg, to Mitchell. They've been tough and strong. Runs to 50. Sam Mitchell is killing the Swans. He's unstoppable, Sam Mitchell. He's had it 10 times.
Well done to Shane Crawford there. Was going to get a free kick here. Tackled by Goodes, but then he threw him after the ball was displaced. And they just keep moving the ball forward. They know that the Swans are struggling with the chasing. And Sam Mitchell, stellar game. 11 possessions, 1 goal, and all the hard stuff that we've seen tonight. This game could be blown out within the next 5 minutes of this game, KB. Another 2 goals, it's over.
Hawks by 34 points. Real danger time now for Sydney. The momentum all with Hawthorn. And Mitchell has been outstanding. He's in there looking for a tackle. There it is. Sweat it off on Williams.
Have a look at that picture there, Matty. 2 Swans players, 4 Hawthorn players. They're just working harder at the moment. Adam Goodes on the bench.
Another bounce. Oh, nice knock down to Mitchell. He managed to get it inside 50 for the 6th time in the game. Out comes Nick Holland. Handball to the run of Crawford. Can the captain kick another one for the Hawks? No, he can't. Ooh. And he's disappointed. He knew that that momentum just would have... Gee, that would have been a big goal, wouldn't it? It would have just kept them moving. They're on top. 8-5 to 2-6. Fosdyke comes off. Creswell back on. Williams to kick in. 53 to 18 after leading by 13 points at quarter time. Sydney still yet to kick a goal in this second quarter. They may not get out of trouble here. Again, an error. Williams this time looked up, didn't get any support. Loney comes in eventually. Here's Johnson for another one. Yes, indeed. Tony, you said 2 more and it could be over. There's one of them.
There's one of them. And I would say, no doubt, another goal, and this game would be over coming up to half-time. You just have to look at the Swans and say, where are they going to get a spark? Their ruck rotation, Hawthorn against Goodes, that's the man who could lift them. Maybe O'Loughlin out the centre-half forward, put Hall back into the square. But they are just locking them down, Hawthorn, and too good around the stop plays. Crawford's lifted, and that other man, Mitchell, brilliant.
5 goals this quarter to the Hawks, just 3 behinds to Sydney. And they're being killed around the centre square. Mitchell with 12 possessions. Vandenberg's been fantastic with 8. Everett also with 7 possessions. Now Thompson's taking his turn in the ruck. Kirk has had a big job trying to close down Crawford to 50. Nick start on the bench. Clever play. They should kick a goal. Williams unselfish play. O'Keefe runs in. They grab one back. start on the bench, Ryan O'Keefe. He is a very dangerous player. Saw him against last year, I think it was the Kangaroos, and he booted 5 goals. They put him the full forward, and he's a very good kick, a very straight kick. That was an easy one for him, unselfish play by Williams, but he can be very dangerous, Ryan O'Keefe.
Yeah, and I just love seeing a player like Matthew Nicks, KB. Didn't take the ball. That's a player you know has got awareness of the pressure around him, tapped the ball onto Williams, and unselfishly gives it to O'Keefe. I agree, he's a player who's talented, and I think needs more game time.
Wonderful tap from Nicks, wasn't it? Set that up. Sydney get the crowd involved with their first goal of the quarter. Perhaps to stop the run of Hawthorn, but not the skipper. Crawford. Dixon tapped it back towards him. Cox is now on the ground. Green, Thompson, Crawford. Not his best kick. Ends up in the hands of Williams.
Just starting to get more of the ball now, Shane Crawford. Goes down looking for Holland. Brings the ball to the ground. Pounced on that time by Green. To Loney, the run comes. Chance now for Clark, the centre-half forward, looking for Williams. Dangerous player. You've got all those tools up there. Mark Williams for the Hawthorn side. And he chases very hard, and he's caused a turnover. Goes to Cox. Toe pokes it off the ground. Having to go hard is Leo Barry. Leaping Leo at ground level. Caught that time by Williams. He's a great chaser and a good tackler.
What about the pressure of the Hawthorn forwards?
Could need a haircut as well.
Leo Barry goes to the ground.
That's a good tackle.
Those days are gone, KB.
They have been ferocious, the Hawks, tonight. Lewis Roberts-Thompson. Here's Mitchell again. This time didn't quite hit a target. Crouch caught high. Takes the free kick. Just haven't been able to get that run, the Sydney Swans. That loose player. They run down in numbers. Chance for Crouch. Comes away from half-back. Has to go on the left boot. Looking for O'Loughlin. The juggler's got it. In front of Graham. Playing game number 201 for Mark Graham. Back into the side. Along with Holland, Barker and Everett. 694 games of experience. And it's shown tonight for the Hawks.
You can just feel the urgency's lifted for the Swans. Last couple of minutes, they knew they had to stand up before half-time.
O'Loughlin.
Oh, bad kick.
Went very short. Looking for Williams. Did well. From right on 50. O'Keefe can be dangerous. Did he work to the front? Thought he might have been caught high. There was no free kick. Barry Hall was upended. Then with strength, just pushes off his opponent. Creswell overruns the ball. Holland's the chaser and the tackler. Backtracks. Here's a chance. Goods tickles the ball on. Has to run hard. Kirk goes to ground. It's a hot ball. Taken by Crouch outside of 50, kicks a high ball. Here comes Lewis Roberts-Thompson. He's beaten for the mark. Beaten by Thompson. So the Hawks have the ball. Nathan Thompson. Out marking Roberts-Thompson. Slowing things down. Hawks in control. To Hodge. Keeping's off.
I'll set it up here, though.
Finds Green. Just chips it across to Osborne. So the Hawks have worked the ball now to centre wing. Holland. When he's fit, he's the hardest running centre-half forward in the game.
And he doesn't suit Andrew Schwabel too, because Andrew Schwabel loves body on body, doesn't like a player on the lead.
Well, he's a runner, Holland. On the stretch that time was good. It's been upended. Will take the free kick. Defensive 50 for the Swans. They just need a spark. Finds Williams out wide.
They are out wide, KB. This is where Hawthorn's done it well defensively.
Just under 4 minutes left in this second quarter. Barry Hall. He'll go hard at Holland. They've got the number. Spider caught in the tackle. Somehow got the ball towards Joel Smith. He wasn't keen to actually take control.
Oh, it's on Nick Holland and Barry Hall.
It's a boundary throw in. Everett to do the ruck work. He's so good with his hands. Pinched by Davis. Now off the ball. Shepherding. It's a free kick going to Barry Hall.
Dear me.
Come on, umpire. I thought he did it well when he said throw the ball in. It was just a bit of a scuffle. You know, these are the things that cause a lot of frustration from supporters. Here we are, Barry Hall. See if there's something there. Well, oh, come on.
I reckon there might have been something before that.
Well, we hope so.
KB, I was watching very closely. I had my eye on those two. There was
nothing.
Barry Hall, he's too far out to score. The lead is on. Short. Taken by Schneider.
He's not too far out.
No, well,
at least for the distance, you would think.
Here's a big kick. What a fantastic first season he's had, this young man. National Rising Star nomination. ACT Rams. He's been a big pickup. And he is a goal kicker. 26 goals in just 19 games. Look at this. Oh. What a kick. What a goal. He's got 2. And he races off the field. I'd be sending him back on.
Well, you said it all about him, rising star. And the thing that he does to convert, I like it that he is also quick, KB, and he likes to take players on. They'll make mistakes now and then, but players who can cut the lines, get through, carry the ball and kick the ball like he can, they can win you a game in 5 minutes as he comes off the ground. He's a youngster. He's going to have a lot of football, or had a lot of football this year. So that would have been pre-planned, I would think.
Just 19 years
It would
of
have
age.
been pre-planned, no doubt, KB.
But when he kicks his second goal, what about the adrenaline running?
I know.
Look at the way he sprinted off.
I'm with you, KB, but you've got to talk about those rotations that they use now.
Sydney have got the last 2, and they get the margin back to 29 points. Important couple of minutes before half-time here. Mitchell wrapped up by Bolton, but somehow he's looking for Crawford. Sydney forcing it forward. Kirk in there once again. Umpire Rowe will come in and ball it up.
I'm glad the Hawks only kicked one of those 2 that I said that might blow them out of the game.
Oh,
they've lifted the
Game on. Game on. Inside 50s, Hawthorn early, Sydney late. Crawford rebounds from his. Lekas. Well, he wanted to play the percentages there, didn't he? He wasn't going to take it and swing it back through the middle. He was thinking, well, I'll be happy with a boundary throw in here. 30-59. Everett to do the ruck work against Roberts-Thompson. Tap from Everett was good, but there was no one there for the Hawks. This is Vandenberg. Rough and tumble, underneath, ball up.
Peter Everett, he's had an impact, Matty. He's had 9 hit-outs this quarter, but the way that he's tapped the ball, he's just too good at the moment for Roberts-Thompson. The youngster will learn by playing against the player of the ilk of Peter Everett.
Here he goes again.
There it is.
That's a beauty. To Mitchell. Crawford knew it was coming too, didn't he? Over the back. Wonderful understanding there between Crawford and Mitchell.
Well, he's just done that so well at the stop plays that maybe they have to get Goods back on the ball for the Swans.
Chance for Hawthorn. Deep inside their forward line. Crawford was very quiet early. Not so now. 9 disposals when only 1 early. Everett. Out the back, the calls to Lekas. Round the body, good smother.
They've got to be careful at the stoppages with Peter Everett. He's going to do some damage to the Sydney Swans if they don't man up, because he's got great hands. That's a great smother by Saddington, but
that's why I think I'd go with Adam Goods. You know that he can jump, Adam Goods.
Here's Everett again. Yep. This time try to take it out there himself. Vandenberg at the front with strength. Had it and lost it. Here's Mitchell. They're both good in close. Clark, quick snap. I think he's kicked a goal. He's kicked a goal. It's a big goal for the Hawks. Close to half-time. Not really noted as a goal kicker. That's his first goal for the season. So he'll be a happy young man. And it's 10-5-65. Hawks by 35 points. Sydney 4-6-30. 9
goal kickers, and Sam Mitchell again was the one who got the ball out, but Peter Everett, as you said, is dominating. Have to get Adam's Goods back on the field, I think. 9 goal kickers to 3. It just shows they're shutting down the defensive end, Hawthorn. As I said, it's a strategy. Get numbers back, and they just run forward. Peter Everett's having a purple patch.
Well, they're getting plenty of goals out of their midfield too, aren't they? You know, we've got Mitchell running through the lines. Johnson's got a couple. Clark. Here's Everett. Bolton, though, for Sydney. Kirk. Was thinking about Maxfield or Creswell. This is Matthews. Back to Roberts-Thompson. To Bolton inside the last minute of the first half. On the lead, O'Loughlin. That's too far out to score a goal there.
Look at the Hawthorn have got plenty of numbers back.
One-on-one, that's what Barry Hall wants it. Doesn't get the distance. In the way, Hodge to beat Stevens. Green gives it to Vandenberg. High ball, not a good kick. Into the crowd.
Well, they're kicking into a breeze. There's no doubt there's a breeze there. The ball does hold up.
It's holding up at that end, isn't it? Well, they've got 12 seconds, Sydney, to do something here right on half-time. They're down by 35 points. Maxfield kicks the ball a long way. Hall with Smith. Over the back, Everett. Smith, again the percentages. To Loney, did well. Released him. Loney can run. Away he goes to the defensive 50. Long searching kick to no avail as the siren has sounded. And what a great second quarter by Hawthorn. They kicked 6 goals to Sydney's 2. At half-time, they lead 10-5, 65. The Swans 4-6, 30. Yeah, Everett still working on his hamstring there, but he has been impressive in the ruck, even though Sydney are leading in the clearances. The Hawks by 35 points. The contract is ahead of Sydney. They've only lost here once this season. Goods is in the ruck. Maxfield is there trying to lift his team, only as far as Clark. And we have another ball up.
Yeah, I think Adam Goods will play most of the night, or the rest of the night, Matty, in the ruck. They just need some forward options. Maybe Scotty Stevens, who started this second half on the bench, has to be given an opportunity for the Swans.
Everett palming it over the back. Once again, take 3. Hawthorn just been tackling brilliantly. They are the leading tackling club in the AFL. This time Goods over the top. Vandenberg tried to spin out of the tackle. Loney goes back to Mitchell. Spreading it towards the half-forward line. Kennelly, happy to see it over.
What about the Hawthorn jumper, Tony? You reckon they got it right back in 1925? Might be better than the present one.
Yes, I like it.
It's great. Here's Everett. Where will he put this one? Got the call out the back from Crawford. Loney. Mitchell. Oh, Leckis. He went without it. He was clear. Schneider doesn't get a clear kick away. Still a chance for Hawthorn. Green trying to bust through. Not able to. And we have another ball up.
Mitchell's arguably the best player on the ground tonight, Sam Mitchell. He was the first nomination for the National Rising Star in round 1 this year. There must be a chance to pick up the best young player in the competition, Sam Mitchell.
Yep.
He has been in terrific form, particularly in the second half of the season. He's a young man in a hurry. Williams goes wide, looking for Snyder. He might be a contender for the best young player in the competition as well, Adam Snyder. Finally, Fosdyke takes it over for a boundary throw-in.
And number 40 for Hawthorn's not a bad player either at the moment for a youngster. Osborne had a very good year in defence for the Hawks. Darren Creswell's running with Sam Mitchell.
2 of the best young players in the competition. Strutting their stuff at the SCG tonight. There's Bolton at the bottom of the pack. Vandenberg's the tackler. We've got a ball up. 10-5, 65 the Hawks. Sydney 4-6, 30. Hawks by 35 points. 2 goals to Brett Johnson. He's the multiple goal kicker for the Hawks. And 2 to Adam Snyder for Sydney. Creswell. Can he kickstart the Swans? Here's Mitchell. There's a look-away handball. Finds Vandenberg. He's been his partner in crime. He's pretty quick, Vandenberg. Hammers the ball back towards the half-forward line. Thompson's the target. Won the duel of strength with Schauble. Then lost out. Here's Crawford. Great hands to Loney, who loves to run. Loves to kick a goal.
Fabulous little handball from Johnson, wasn't it?
And both the brothers, they're terrific coming off half-back, aren't they?
Yep.
10 goal kickers to 3. They just keep the ball alive here. They have been first in for the ball the whole night. They've been harder than the Sydney Swans, which is, you don't say that very often in a contest. And Crawford here, you're right about the Loneys, though. They love a goal on the run. Both beautiful kicks.
Well, the margin in that second quarter was 41 points. They got it back to 29, Sydney, but the last 2 goals have come the Hawks' way, and it's back to that 41.
Dare I say it, Matty?
I knew you were going there, Tony.
No, I won't say it.
Just in case.
Not in modern day football. I nearly made a fool of myself before half-time.
Goods winning the knot. Too strong at the contest again. This time it was Osborne. Pachoni. Well, went back through trouble. Somehow got it over to the running Mitchell. Johnson's got to get rid of it quickly. He does. Over to Green. This is another good build-up. Wobbles the kick forward. Only as far as Kirk. For Sydney. Kirk. To Craig Bolton. Straight up the middle. To Fosdyke. He can either go laterally to Barry. Thinks about it. That's gap is quickly closed. They've got no run, Matty. No run at all, the Swans. The Hawks have done a great job defensively. You look up the midfield, and there's their players pushing them out to the boundary line. That's the only place Bolton could go. There's a whistle, and it's a free kick going back to Smith.
No space for Barry Hall to lead into. Just might get a little bit agitated. Smith goes short, looking for Spider. Finds Osborne. The young guns for the Hawks really firing tonight, and that's a beautiful kick. Finds Dixon from right on 50. Pachoni's in the square. Needs support. Chance for Clark, trying to keep the ball line. Runs out of room. Boundary throw-in, just 25 metres around from the Hawks' goal.
Well, they're not struggling to get it into their forward line, the Swans. They're struggling to get it past the wing, half forward.
So a big chance for the Hawks. They lead by 41 points to extend their lead. Here's Everett, so dangerous. These stoppages. Goods does a 360. Does a hippie shake. Bit of the Watusi, and then hammers the ball out wide. He's looking for Davis. Toss back in. 2 matchups tonight, KB. Work for the Hawks. Joel Smith on Hall when he comes to centre half forward, and Dixon on Nick Davis. Nick Davis has had 5 possessions for the night and hasn't kicked a goal yet. It's a boundary throw. It's a good 75 metres from Hawthorn's goal. They started with Nick Holland on the bench, and Barker started this 3rd term, making certain that they just give them cameo performances tonight. And they come onto the ground, just trying to ease them into the action. Here's Mitchell. He's been in the thick of the action. Chance now for the Swans. Creswell had it and lost it. Pachoni was desperate. Now a chance for the Swans. The run comes from Canelli. Rockets the ball to Williams. Didn't take it. It was an ugly bounce. Smith pounced on it. Loose ball again. They'll pile on top. It's inside 50 for the Swans. And we've got a ball up.
Well, they're going to have to make the most of those opportunities, aren't they, Tony? They've got to take those. Yeah, it didn't take Canelli here. Just did not hit the target. Paul Williams going to run through 50 for a shot on goal. Hall over the top. Ball spills out to Loney. Already a goal in this 3rd term. They're letting him into some space there, Sydney. He's zoned off him. Out wide. Pachoni, Rawlings, back to Clark. Hawthorn keep it going. Still alive on their forward line. Bolton's under some pressure from Clark. Another good tackle by Hawthorn. 26 tackles to 21, the Hawks. Look, they've been tougher. They've been tougher and harder. And they have not given the midfield of the Swans any space to work in. Goods over the top. And there's that Mitchell man.
I suppose more importantly, Tony, that the times I've seen the Sydney Swans, they really have started their attack from defence. They set it up. They have a wave of players. They finally give it to someone who, you know, can kick the ball without being under pressure, and then all of a sudden they have loose players all over the ground. But I think the Hawthorn forwards tonight have done it well. They've really applied a lot of pressure.
There's Mitchell. Lays it down to Pachoni. Running through Johnson, this time on his right boot. It drifts across the face. Everett's there just to behind. But again, from the stoppage, Hawks with quick hands and clean hands look very dangerous.
That young boy on screen from Swan Districts. Just 1 goal for the season coming into tonight's game. He's booted 2 goals, both those goals coming in the 2nd term. Maxfield to bring the ball back into play.
Stewie Maxfield, 4 possessions for the game.
Yes, he's been on the bench as well. Might have some query about his fitness.
Yeah. Oh, they're too long here, isn't it, for the Swans?
Crouch. He's looking out wide. He was looking for Williams. He was throwing off the ball. Takes the free kick. Loney's not happy. Paul Williams, 12 possessions. Along with Adam Goods, he's the leading possession winner. So he concedes ground to Leo Barry. Now, this is what the Swans like to do. They like to give it to a player in space who doesn't have to kick or handball under pressure. Kennelly in front. Looking for Bolton. Vandenberg, magnificent punch. Got his fist to the ball. Let's go down to Tiffany Cherry.
Williams could explain why he just kicked that ball backwards. He's just come straight off, taken himself off his right angle. Looks like he's twisted it.
So some work there on Paul Williams. Going to try and get him back into the action. Goods won the tap, then slapped on that time by Everett. Kicked off the ground by Piccioni. Gains 20 metres. Clark's been handy. His kick lets him down. He was looking for Williams. Got an ugly bounce. Great hands from Thompson. Gives it across. And Piccioni kicks a goal. .48 points. That's the lead now to the Hawks.
Another goal kicker, Tony?
Another goal kicker for Tony. 11 goal kickers to 3. And again, just quick hands. Just the ability, once they win the ball, you've got to question the Sydney Swans and their defensive game tonight, because they've kicked so many goals running through 50, Hawthorn, without the Sydney Swans play a goal side.
That look says it all from Paul Roos. He would have been expecting to, or would have been hoping to get a good start in the third term. But it's been Hawthorn have kicked the first 2 goals. The margin, 8 goals now. 11 goal kickers. Here's Creswell. Can he spark something for the Swans? To Jude Bolt. Fosdyke to the goal square. Hall is the target. With him, Smith. The punch over the back came from Graham. Loose ball, Dixon. Goes to ground. Oh, I've got a call out wide from Lekas, and the Hawks will clear. They've got players in the middle, and Lekas decides to go straight up the wing. Thompson and Shawbull, free kick, going back, play on, advantage paid. Shawbull to Saddington. Trying to draw the player to go over the top, and he does now. Here's Tyke Kennelly. Loads up towards the hot spot. Lewis Roberts-Thompson was there, but big spoil came. Whoop, he went without it. Here's Kirk. Through some traffic to Barry Hall. Over the top to Fosdyke. Is this? No, it isn't.
It was a good, strong defensive punch come from Luke Hodge. Yep. He really ran hard, got to that contest. Big fist away. There's Paul Williams being attended to. Andrew Ireland beside him. Looks on. Graham. Well, they've brought back all those experienced players, and somehow it may have inspired some of the youngsters tonight as well for the Hawks. Vandenberg runs out of space. Boundary throw in 12-6-78 the Hawks. Sydney 4-7-31.
Yeah, I thought it might have been a problem with so many players underdone coming back in the side at the one time, but Peter Schwab's rotated the bench brilliantly.
Well, nearly 700 games of experience. It can help. And Everett's been very good in the ruck. Here's Nick Holland.
The Swans have still got some run on the bench too. Adrian Cox is on the bench. KB, we know that he loves to run the line. So
for the Hawks,
for the Hawks, sorry. Fresh legs.
Just has a couple of cameo appearances along with Barker, just to keep enough pressure on. Good hands from O'Loughlin. Big Bad Barry will kick a goal. Bangs it through. He's got 2. So he drags it back to a 41-point ball game.
Well, much needed goal by the Swans. They need about 2 or 3 unanswered goals. Any hope at 3/4 time. Well done to Robert Thompson then. He's had his colours lowered by Peter Everett, and a quick handball. Gee, Barry held onto the ball a bit here. I don't know. I like to see him running straight at goal there, because that could go anywhere.
Was that a throw?
Quick hands by O'Loughlin. Looked like a throw. Blind side of the umpire.
Bad news for Sydney. Williams up the race. Tiffany Cherry. We'll follow that shortly. 41 points. Hall with his second. Goods with the tap. Nix. Oh, great smother. Loney, and he's away. Nathan Loney drives the Hawks along towards Rawlings. Williams is there as well. Hits his foot. Shawbull. Under pressure. Barry. Whoops. Look out. Crouch. Are they out of danger? Only just. Not for long. Holland.
See, Mark Williams was fantastic. Then he tackled three Sydney players, that young boy.
That's what it's all about inside your forward 50. Create some pressure by harassing Lekas. Spilled the mark. Maxfield. Schneider thumps it as long as he can. O'Keefe goes back. Graham did well, lift his man once again. The ball falls to Barry Hall. He's wrapped up by Hodge. Back to Bolton. Sees a player out the corner of his eye. It's O'Keefe who drops it. A little bit tardy and has caused a turnover in the end. Well, maybe there's another one coming. Pressure is building. Hard to get a kick here at the moment. Bolton scoops it to Fosdyke. 55 metres out, around the body, looking for O'Loughlin. Out of bounds on the full. But there's a whistle. The ball is coming back. It is a Sydney free kick.
Bolton.
Jude Bolton. About 55 metres out from goal. Will take the free kick. Decides to just square it up to Maxfield. Trying to open the other side of the ground up.
Nick Holland into the ruck for the Hawks. Loose man in defence.
Yeah, he's just standing there, isn't he? He's
right
just filling the hole. Maxfield certainly taking his time. And then just short pass to Nix. All this is doing is giving Hawthorn time to set up.
Now, Adam Goods is about 25 metres away from Nix on the same line. He has to push forward now. Holland's pushed back.
Hall got it. That's a good kick. Had to thread it between a couple of Hawthorn defenders.
He's a good player, Barry Hall. He's quick. I know that he's had a few indiscretions in the past, but he's had a fantastic season for the Sydney Swans. He's mainly played at centre-half forward. He's kicked 48 goals for the season at centre-half forward.
People just think of the history, KB, don't they? That he is a talented player. He can mark, he lead. He's a beautiful kick normally.
He's quick.
So he's got it all.
Here's Johnson, who's kicked a couple of goals. Is that Johnson or Green?
That was
Let's
Green.
have a look at it. Yeah, it's Green. Young Stephen Green limping off.
Yep. So Hall for his second in this quarter. Third for the game. Lays back. Bangs it through. Barry Hall keeps the Swans in it. They've kicked the last two. They're back to 35 points.
Well, 35 points. As we said, they needed a few unanswered goals here, and that's a strong mark. A couple of players, and here's where Green hurts his ankle. You can see it there, just rolled it. As he lands, watch 29 there, that ankle just went under him, straight off the ground. But I think it's a brilliant kick, Barry Hall.
Well, he's kicked 248 career goals, Barry Hall. He just might be the man who can turn things around for the Sydney Swans. Can he inspire?
Well, I say, KB, 2 quick goals by the Swans, and they're back in the game.
You and your 2 quick goals.
Well, he's booted 3 goals. Here's a chance. Maxfield off the ground. The Swans just might be inspired. Getting an ugly bounce and then a kind one to Lekas. Maxfield, the skipper. Can he lift? Can he rally the troops? Hawthorn have been good. Vandenberg across half-back. Running down is O'Keefe. That's great chasing. Super chasing by O'Keefe. And maybe the Swans have gone up a cog. They've struggled all night. The Hawks have been well on top. They still lead by 35 points. But we've just got under 9 minutes left in this third term. And we know the Swans are a pretty good side. Creswell to the pocket. O'Keefe trying to make ground. Strong play by Dixon. Happy to smother the ball over the line. Tiffany. Tiff's down there on the boundary. I know she followed Paul Williams up the race to try and find out what was happening. Just see, we'll get back to Tiffany Cherry in a moment. Thompson to do the ruck work. Does it well to Mitchell. That's possession number 20 for Sam Mitchell. Here's a chance for Goods. He's got Nick Holland to beat. Paddles the ball along in front. Caught in the tackle that time. Thrown to the ground was Schauble. Good play by Williams. He's tough. He's a great tackler, that young boy. Maybe he hasn't had a lot of the ball. He's only had 3 possessions, but I tell you what, Peter Swab would be very impressed with the way that he tries to retain that ball on the forward line, and he's always chasing, always tackling. I think he's got a future. Helps because he's quick as well. Thompson, toe pokes it inside 50. Crawford to Paccioni. It's a clever kick. Barker got a bad bounce and kicked off the ground by Johnson. Touched.
I thought thought it was going to bounce through from the other kick.
That young boy now has kicked 2 goals to Brett Johnson, 2-2. And nearly made something out of nothing here.
Oh.
Wow, that was close.
Gee. That's one for the Rules Committee.
Don't blame the Rules Committee. 12-7-79, the Hawks. The Swans, 6-7-43. Graham, game number 201, good kick. Finds Barker. Just using him sparingly at the moment. If they get through to the finals and this man is fit, along with Peter Everett and Holland, throw in Thompson, they'll be hard to beat. Piccioni weighted down, and limping Leo takes the grab.
And Cobra, I think Peter Schwab's identified the last 5-6 minutes that he put Nathan Thompson in the ruck and Nick Holland back to centre-half forward.
Chauvel has released Maxfield. Sydney moving towards Hall again. Strong mark, wants to move it quickly. Stevens now, 70 metres from goal, out in front of O'Keefe, and going back Creswell. The kick was meant for O'Keefe, no doubt about it. Creswell lending support. Sydney have kicked the last 2, courtesy of Hall, who's involved again there. And now a chance for Creswell.
Well, there's that man, Scott Stevens, I said at half-time, hadn't had any game time. We know that he's kicked 3 or 4 goals in a game of AFL football. He set that goal up to Creswell, even though the kick was meant for O'Keefe. Barry Hall too, well done. Led hard at the ball.
Creswell, 15 goals for the season. Loads it up and kicks the goal. Three quick ones, Tony. And they're right back in at the Swans. It's now a 5-goal game.
And you tipped that too, Tony.
I tipped that, yes, thanks, KB. Just wonder whether Peter Schwab now might think about bringing Peter Everett on. I know the rotation, he goes off and he doesn't come back on the ground. They're getting some clearances. He's the man who's dominated in that area. We can just see there Scott just kicking the ball, setting it up. Good finish by Creswell.
Well, at one stage in this quarter, they trailed by 48 points. They've now got it back to 29 points. Sydney showing some fighting spirit. 12-7, plays 7-7. Leckers, clever kick. Here's Creswell, named in the team of the century. Just kicked a goal. And Hodge, lack of talk there amongst the Hawks defenders. That's one of their rare mistakes. Dumps the ball back over the line. Let's go down to Tiffany Cherry.
Expect both the boys who have rolled their ankles to come back on. Williams has just run back from the race, so he would have had a painkilling injection. He's fine. And Nick Green, he hasn't had, Stephen Green, he hasn't had ice put on it. It's been strapped up. He'll be right to go as well.
That elephant juice can work wonders. Here's Creswell, weaving a bit of magic. Dangerous kick to the square. O'Keefe in front. High flyer, he's got it.
Yeah, it's the mark.
O'Keefe, he is a dangerous player. The Hawks will want to make certain they give him some respect. He may not be a big name, but I've seen him kick goals before when he's lurking around the goal square.
No doubt about the mark. He had control. Kicked one in the second quarter. He marks better than his size too, KB. That's one strength he has got. Can mark above his head. You've got to have a very good matchup for him.
This to get the Swans to within 23 points. O'Keefe. From point-blank range. Kicks the Swans' 8th goal. They're coming back. That man's got 2. And the Swans trail by 23 points.
Well, they've got the last 4, haven't they? And they've got the momentum, and they'll be happy to continue this on all the way through to 3/4 time. Creswell's been important.
Yep. He's had 4 touches in, I think, 2 minutes. And as I said, the Hawks, they know the momentum's gone the Swans' way. They have pushed Peter Everett back into the ruck. That would have been against their rotation. So Peter Schwab knows it's danger time.
Williams back out on the ground now for Sydney. O'Keefe, his 2nd goal. 22-year-old in his 3rd season. Eight goals, back to 4. Here's Everett. Going to do it all himself. Piccioni didn't know it was coming. Rees got it to Piccioni this time. just slips out of the Maxfield tackle. Crawford from the centre circle. Long ball. Williams! Oh, he outmarked Barker. Spoiled his own man. Johnson couldn't break free. Free kick too high. Sydney underneath all of that.
That was a good decision, Crouch. He was caught too high.
Here's Williams over the top of Barker. Well, he could have let it go. Barker has the mark. All going Sydney's way at the moment as Crouch goes wide. Long kick. Good mark in the end by Davis, who Tony mentioned has been pretty quiet. Hall on a long lead. Couldn't quite get it. Smith did enough to cause him to.
Now we know Joel Smith is quick, but Barry Hall just gives you some indication of his own leg speed because he can lead Joel Smith to the ball.
Creswell climbing up that ladder. 7 disposals in this quarter. Everett trying to do it all himself again. Going over the top, Lekas. Ball up.
Matty, that is a good move. That is a good move by Peter Schwab to go against his plan before the game of not bringing Everett back on. But he knows the stage has changed. He knows that now the Swans are on top. You know, coaches sometimes won't react like that. Good move by Peter Schwab.
Hodge, Creswell, inspiring stuff from the veteran. Hall got Smith out of the way. Off the ground went Graham, only as far as Davis.
Creswell and Barry Hall, they're the danger men, aren't they?
Here's Davis.
And he's pretty dangerous.
Oh, he is dangerous, isn't he?
Can we get any more strapping on that left leg? Is it possible?
I think we can get some more on, KB.
You reckon?
Yeah, just a tad more.
It would be mummified, that left leg, if it gets any more strapping on it.
Things have changed, haven't they? Even the half kick off the ground by a Hawthorn defender goes straight to a Swans player, where early in the game it's gone to the Hawks. It's because you become proactive. No doubt Darren Creswell has been the one. Sam Mitchell comes back onto the ground for the Hawks.
O'Loughlin has 2 behinds. This to get the Swans within 3 goals. Yes. Sydney, the SCG is alive and well at the moment. Their team back to within 18 points. Peter Schwab, plenty to think about.
It's times like these where you're sitting in the coach's box. Really, it's going to happen in the game, KB. It just depends on how much the opposition makes the most of it, and the Swans have done it here. Hawthorn deserved their lead, but they're going to come sometime, the Swans. How much damage they do in that time, you can't stop in the coach's box. The only thing I think about now, maybe getting more players back behind the ball to just fill the gaps in the forward line for the Hawks. And I look now, it might be Osborne who's a loose man in defence. I think you've got to go a bit taller than that, a marking player. Well,
Creswell has ignited the Swans in this 3rd term, and Barry Hall up forward. Goods. Plenty of spring now on the step. Won the tap for Choney. Gets around O'Keefe, hammers the ball back towards the half-forward line, looking for Lekas. Ugly bounce. Barker caught in the tackle. Matthews had it and lost it. Mitchell's been outstanding. Can he bullock his way out of trouble? And now the Swans' tackling's gone up a notch.
Certainly has. I mean, we've just seen there a terrific tackle. And all the momentum, all of a sudden players just find that extra yard to put
just
the pressure
under 3
on.
minutes left in this 3rd term. They trailed by 48 points, the Sydney Swans, in this 3rd term. They've dragged it back to 17. O'Keefe to Bolton. They're finding space now. Davis wants to run hard. He's in space. Look at Williams. Back onto the ground, wanted it short. Hall's the target with strength. Couldn't take it. He got rid of Smith. Hodge. He's back up, riding shotgun, heads towards the boundary line. Happy to see it bounce over. It's a toss back in. It's going to be a desperate last 2 minutes of this 3rd term. Barry Hall, twice now he's got rid of Smith like that, and both times he's just failed to hold the mark.
I think that is one for the Rules Committee, KB. You usually have your hands in the marking contest.
Over the top, Swans keeping the ball forward. Creswell. Chance for Vandenberg. Scouting wide, patrolling, strutting his stuff. Runs the edge of the centre square at the SCG, hammers the ball back. Holland, a big mark. He'll be kicking into a breeze, and he will shoot from around about 49 metres. This ball could hold up right on the line.
That's at his best distance, though, isn't it, Holland? When he's really got to kick through.
Got to kick through the ball. Oh, look, it's an important kick. I like the way he just said, I'm going to take the responsibility on myself.
The Swans are on a roll. They've booted the last 5 goals. Holland from 49 metres goes right to the line. He's got it. And straight away,
off again.
Nick Holland sprints off the ground.
You don't want to kick a goal, KB, tonight.
It's a big goal for the Hawks. 23 points.
Well, they needed someone to lift, and it was Richie Vandenberg who took them on. And again, the use of the hands in the marking contest. I see it with Barry Hall pushing a player to the side. I think if we wipe that out of the game, everybody has to use their body. You'll see some of the stronger players stand out, or those who can read the play better.
Correction there, 24 points they lead by.
24 points.
Very important goal for Nick Holland. Went back, banged it through. 13-7, 9-7. Almost three-quarter time. Everett. This is Kirk. Still time for Sydney here. O'Loughlin. Hall. Still got it. Stevens. Just out the corner of his eye. Saw Williams. Nicks. Turned around and saw Sam Mitchell right in front of him. The last person you want to see.
Look at these two blokes out here. Look like they're doing stretching exercises.
There it is. Thanks, Sam.
Yep. Wrapped him up. 30 metres out from the goals from Sydney. Hall. Here's Nicks. Spilled it. Everett got a call from Loney. Has to be quick. Just tumbles it forward. Bolton couldn't mark it. Leckers kept it going his way. Nice handball from Shawball to Goods, who just thumps it long. Big high ball. Numbers there for Hawthorn. Almost Stevens outmarked 3 of them. Osborne looks up, finds Leckers. Has a bounce. We go back through the corridor. Dangerous kick. All together now.
Yeah.
Cox to Mitchell. Oh, he went without it. Now, Matthews. Williams. Hall got him. Clock running down. Needs to hit a target and doesn't. Osborne with pace. Good clean take and then clears the ball out of the danger zone towards the boundary line. He'd be happy with a throw in. It doesn't matter because we're out of time in this third quarter. 5 goals from the Swans. They were down by 48 points, but Creswell and Hall have got them back in this game. And at three-quarter time, Sydney trail the Hawks by 24 points.
Thanks, Tiffany.
Peter Everett, so important when he came back out onto the ground, Tony, and you're going to probably have to use him just about as almost the whole of the quarter.
Well, even late at the quarter, he got his hands on the ball, but the thing was the flow of the play went the Swans' way. They read it better than what they had done all match.
It's a 24-point margin facing Sydney. Free kick. Off the ball, going to Everett. Moves it quickly. Thompson comes out hard. Also there was Barry. At ground level, Bolton. Craig Bolton over to Crouch. This is Jude Bolton to Davis. Spreads it wide to Schneider. This is when they look dangerous, Sydney, when they just keep moving and keep running and have the numbers. O'Loughlin on a lead. He's got it into the pocket. Hall leads. He's got away from Smith. Smith ran him under the ball pretty well in the end. Crawford, he'll want the boundary line. Doesn't quite find it. Osborne. Well, has some confidence there. Great tackle, Kirk. Pitched the ball. The pickpocket in action.
Well, he's the best tackler in the competition, Brett Kirk.
Yeah, it's just, look at this. This is just fabulous.
Michael Osborne just tried to do too much. A big kick along the line, try and get to the boundary line.
Kirk sizing up his options. No one in the goal square. Everett is... Well, they opened up that side of it. Pretty cleverly worked in the end because Davis, we know he can kick a long way. He's within range.
He'll be kicking into a breeze, so it's a long kick for Nick Davis. But, yep, anybody can hit it sweetly. It's Nick Davis. Peter Everett now is loose man in defence for the Hawks, pushing hard into defence.
Will the breeze hold this up? We saw Holland kick one. Just made it. This is from 53. Across the face. There's Everett. You mentioned it, Tony. Good call. He's got the mark.
Big spider. Squeezed up in the goal square. Goes short. Finds Osborne. Tries to drill it. It's a dangerous kick. Too much carry on the ball. Mitchell has to hit it hard. That's one thing he does well. Cross to Cox. Has struggled all night. Can he lift himself in this last quarter and finds Rawlings on the stretch? The Hawks trying now to get some run. Edge of the centre square. Crawford kicks a high ball. Looking for Thompson. Off hands. Goods does well. Finds Bolton. So the Swans with some run out defence goes wide. 1-on-1. And Hodge does well. To Everett. Inside the centre square. Getting some instructions from Osborne. Goes wide and finds Cox. Start this last quarter in lively fashion from right on 50. Pushes it right and through for a behind.
Well, Peter Swabber isn't worried about Luke Hodge playing on Lewis Robert Thompson. You think he'd be giving away a lot of height, but Luke Hodge stronger than what you think, even though a youngster still in the game. Very good body strength.
Maxfield to bring the ball back into play for the Swans. The Hawks lead 13-8-86. Sydney 9-7-61. By 25 points. Bolton goes short, looks for Kirk. Beaten this time by Crawford. Keeps the ball alive. Davis just paddling the ball along in front. Does well and is quick. Runs away from Cox. Spears the ball in.
Oh, great mark.
Dixon takes a slips catch.
It's been good, Dixon, hasn't he? Done his job.
Yep.
Spectacular finish to the mark. Here's Thompson.
Well, he's played on Nick Davis most of the night.
He's got Robert Thompson at the moment. Robert Thompson. Bartlett back with Shawball. To Saddington. On the boundary. Loney and O'Keefe. Hodge goes back to help out. Loney had a good third term. Over to Smith. Off one step. Gets about 40 metres. Only as far as Jared Crouch. Swans need to get the first goal of this final quarter. Crouch not happy. Jude Bolton provides a lead for him, an option on centre wing. And back to Saddington, back where we started. Not sure about that one.
Well, what they're trying to do, they're switching the play to get a loose man so that they can run the ball, but the Hawks are manning up very well.
Yeah,
they've done it all night.
They've done the homework pretty well, haven't they?
Yep.
Maxfield.
The Swans have got to take some risk getting the corridor like this kick.
Schneider. Whoopsie. Tim Clark's not supposed to be there. Now they've got the player they're looking for. It's Maxfield over the top. Crouch to 60 metres from goal. Smothered well by Crawford. Vandenberg in and under. Needs to get rid of it. It's still going now Sydney's way. Barry Hall, will he give off the handball or will he go by himself? He gives it over to Bolton. Bolton from 30 metres kicks the goal. Barry Hall involved again. Gee, they took their time getting it up there, but in the end they got that man running and they got the goal.
Well, it started back with Adam Schneider across halfback where it was Stuart Maxfield just played around the mark and his man was caught out. There's Barry Hall takes the mark. Jude Bolton's had a fairly quiet night. That's the goal they needed. But gee, I think they're going to look at that rule back at halfback. The umpire should clear the mark away. That's why Stewie Maxfield got clear.
Jude Bolton kicks a goal. That's his first for the night. And the Swans now drag it back to just 19 points. 13-8 the Hawks. Sydney Swans 10-7. Chance for Mitchell. It's been terrific all night. Looking for Rawlings. Leo Barry got a fist to the ball. It's a free kick. So Barry's still on the ground. Jade Rawlings has got it. The goal in the first quarter. He's within kicking distance. The breeze has dropped. 15 minutes left in this last term. The Hawks season on the line as Rawlings kicks a big goal. Well, he's had a great season, Jade Rawlings. And they now lead by 25 points. And Leo Barry looks on. In fact, all night, every time Rawlings has gone for the ball, Leo's, had a bit of trouble. I'm not quite certain whether Rawlings is just stopping in front of him, but he has been just cannoning into the back of him.
Well, he's watched the man instead of the ball in flight, and he's given free kicks too in this, to this stage of the game.
Peter Schwab very happy with that answering goal from Rawlings.
The other thing, they've wasted about 7 or 8 minutes of the quarter now.
And they're back to a 25-point margin. It was 24 at three-quarter time. Everett trying to get past Maxfield. Can't. Mitchell also in the way. Off one step. Rawlings. False for Crawford. Handball back towards Rawlings. Can't quite get a good bounce. Jude Bolton goes back to Goods. They're under pressure here. Clark over to Vandenberg. Vandenberg spots Lekas on his own. Out comes Shawball, knocks over Lekas. Thompson also working hard for Hawthorn, and they've held it in the area. And they'll have a free kick and a shot on goal holding the ball.
Now, you just got to ask the question, has this been consistent all night? The ball's there. Jude Bolton tucks the ball in, trying to get rid of it there or holding it under again. Gee, pretty hard to get rid of it.
No, because he elected to dive on the ball
and pull it in,
he must knock the ball out in the one action. If you dive on the ball and you are held, then it's a free kick. So the umpire got it exactly right.
Yeah, I don't mind that, but have we seen any others early in the game that weren't paid like that? That's the issue.
Thompson for his second. More importantly for the Hawks. Yeah, he's got it. They get 2 quick ones. Tony, they get 2 quick ones. The 2 quick ones we've been talking about all night. And I hope you're enjoying this game.
The game's nearly over.
Live and uninterrupted on Fox Footy.
I've got no worries with the free kick, KB, but you just see so many inconsistencies. Matter of fact, if that is done every time and they paid it, I have got no worries with the free kick at all. Protect the players going for the ball, but on that occasion, Thompson, we can see his conversion there. Yep, pay it like that all game. Even if there's a third man in, I think you've got to pay it.
2 goals to Nathan Thompson. He's bid at 24 goals for the season. He's had a lot of injuries. He's playing his 97th game tonight. Nathan Thompson. I don't think we've still seen the best of him. Kirk works hard in close. He's had the job on Crawford to Bolton. Just tumbles the ball down towards O'Loughlin. Closely checked by Graham. Here's a chance. Cox goes to ground, picked up by Vandenberg. Loves the run with the ball. Always backs himself in. Crawford has worked his way into the game to centre-half forward. Out in front, Thompson. Couldn't take it. In front. Goods on the rebound for the Swans. To Williams. Was off the ground in that third term. Barry Hall again. Was he pushed out of the contest? Going to ground. Strong play by O'Loughlin. Didn't really hit a target. And Smith runs into a roadblock in the shape of O'Loughlin. We've got a ball up. 45 metres out from Sydney's goal. And Barry Hall just asking the question. Might have thought that he should have got the same free kick that Jade Rawlings got at the other end. Big bad Barry beaten this time by Everett, who's been very good in the ruck tonight. Cox goes in hard, appeals for the free kick. We've got a ball up. Still inside 50. Keith takes a spell. Spooted a couple of goals, one in the second quarter and one in the third. But he's one of those players who spends a fair bit of time on the bench. Barry Hall getting first use of the ball.
What happens here, KB? Pulled it under.
And there's Barry. Points downfield. Dixon.
Are you saying Keith should get more game time? You think, KB?
Oh, no, I'm just saying he does spend a bit of time on the bench. He always looks a dangerous player to me.
Yep.
Chance for Cox. Has lifted his ratings in this last quarter. Mitchell. There's a look-away handball. That's possession number 24. Now, he might be pinged for this.
Well, I don't disagree with that now. Seeing the other one, exactly the same.
They get it right. That was right.
Oh, no, I agree. But, as I say, we've seen a grey area most of the time and too many inconsistencies in the rule. If they do that, pay it every time. Even if there's the third man in like this occasion, you don't pull it in then. Every player will be trying to tap the ball out or tap it on.
I reckon the umpires get that one pretty well right. Oh. Cox to the half-forward line. There's a free kick given away by leaping Leo. To Maxfield. Squeezed up on the boundary line. The Hawks have got numbers. Hodge drops a sitter. He's got plenty of time. Support from Cox. He'll share the ball with Everett, who goes very, very short. Finds Clark. Edge of the centre square. Dixon's the target. Thumped away that time by Crouch, who is quick. Runs into Clark. Good hands by Loney. The hard run comes from Hodge. Just wobbles again inside 50. Looking for a kind bounce and getting an ugly one with the Hawks. Here's Saddington. Half tripped up. Taken again by Crouch. Working hard now, the Swans in defence. Now it can be set up. Davis in space. Snyder wants it. Didn't really hit the target, but he's quick. He's going to run to 50. He's a beautiful kick and finds Nicks. Just thought he might have tested himself from outside 50, but it was unselfish play. And Matthew Nicks will line up from just 35 metres out on a 45-degree angle. Yeah, good rebound from the Swans' defence then. Snyder, well, he could have had a shot, KB. They are kicking into that breeze. We think maybe a 2 to 3 goal breeze. But set it up now. Matthew Nicks, this is what you get paid for in football. 25 metres out, not that big an angle, should kick this goal. They trail by 31 points. Big kick for the Swans. He's got it.
Good finish there by Matthew Nicks. Gets the team back, and it was well worked by Schneider, wasn't it? Well, it was, especially when there was a bad handball from Nick Davis, who has lowered his colours to Ben Dixon tonight. Matthew Nicks is probably coming to the end of his career, being used off the bench a lot. We know he's a class act. Former All-Australian player. Schneider in his first season, thinking, how easy is this game? How long have I been doing it? 25-point margin. Goods trying to burst through. Likewise, Kirk. Still going Sydney. This time it's Jude Bolton. Barry Hall's there. The spoil came from Smith. In front, Hodge. Gave it up. Schneider in trouble. Back indoors. Kirk. Hodge. The tackle. It spills to Crouch. This might bounce through. It will. Oh, yes. 2 in a row. Great goal by Jared Crouch. Sydney edged to 19 points.
They won't go away.
Nope.
I won't say it again.
Just another couple of goals.
Couple of quick ones.
Well, they keep it alive, and you've got to give it to the Swans. As you say, they're a great competitive side, and that's what has made them get to where they are at the moment on the ladder. And that man just keeps the ball rolling for Crouch, a good negating player, on that occasion a lucky bounce.
Swans trail by 19 points. They did trail by as much as 48 points during that third term. Looking to cement in the top 4, maybe the top 2. The Hawks hoping for a spot in the top 8. Goods gets his hands on the ball. Thompson has it, lost it, taken by Mitchell. Back towards centre half forward. Playing in front is Holland. They've used them well tonight, haven't they? These players who have hardly played any football in Holland and Barker.
Yep.
And Everett. They've had them on and off the ground tonight. Just trying to somehow squeeze through this game. Nick Holland. Too far out to score. Jade Rawlings is back in the square. It's going to drop short. It's going to be an easy mark. Thompson. They all went back to the goal line. And Nick Holland,
great pass.
Maybe through fatigue, hasn't played football for a long time. It's just flopped off the boot. Look at Saddington. Can't believe it.
Well, KB, Craig Davis kicked, I think, 70 goals like that from some of my kicks. And they exactly went that way. Flopped off the boot and everybody went back to the square and he'd be on the lead. And I was kicking a torpedo.
Nathan Thompson from 20 metres out. Hammers it home. The Hawks by 25 points. And don't forget Nathan Buckley on the couch on Monday night. Collingwood skipper will have plenty to say about the big loss today.
Yes, and
to Brisbane, the rematch of the grand final.
Well,
he was in front. He was just showing the wisdom of Dumbledore there. He was just in front.
Well, the thing is, what are the Swans players guarding? Are they guarding the goal umpire? You know, you might as well play in front there 5 to 6 yards because he has to jump over your head. You know, sometimes you've got to think about players in the defensive role that they've got. Yeah, don't go back on the line, because it's either going to be a goal, but someone in front like that, you get an unlucky kicker, and a lucky kick to Hawthorn.
They answer the challenge once again. So it was 24 points at three-quarter time. The clock's down to 8 minutes 19, and it's 25 points. So they've held.
They totally deserve, if they win this game, they totally deserve to win it.
Yep. Thompson with 3 goals now for the Hawks. Fosdyke not going anywhere. We'll go again. Just been used as impact players, haven't they? Thompson, Holland. Come on, do your job. Get off, have a spell. Goods, free kick against him. It'll go to Thompson.
The other person who's done his job who came back is Mark Graham, because O'Loughlin's only kicked 1 goal.
Yep. Yeah, not big on the stat sheet, Mark Graham, but wonderful defensive job. Just had 8 disposals. Leaping Leo Barry with the spoil. Vandenberg slipped. Maxfield wraps him up, holding the ball.
What about that one, KB?
Yes, perfect.
Perfect. Slipped over, accidental slip.
Maxfield will go laterally all the way back to Adam Goods. In turn does likewise. Barry, Rawlings arrived late. Sydney just trying to get that loose man going.
Got to go down the centre corridor.
Matthews. Whoop. Couldn't get around. Now they've turned it over. Holland needs to give it quickly. To the wrong colours, though. Gave it to Shawble, who in turn combines with Davis. Kick misses the target. Nicks went without it. Going back Smith. Hodge. Ball still in play. Spun out of trouble beautifully. And then found Lekas on the lead. Kirk. Second effort. Bolton. Free kick off the ball. It'll go back to Craig Bolton. He was being held. They're down by 25 points. They've got 6.5 minutes remaining, the Swans.
Bolton finds Goods. Edge of the centre square. Wants to lay it off. Finds Williams. Loves to run. Loves to kick the ball long. Barry Hall's in front. Was he held? Nearly took a one-hander. Barry Hall! Quick snap. He's missed. 3 goals, 1 to Big Bad Barry.
Michael O'Loughlin was in the goal square. I think he could have got a handball from Barry Hall on that occasion. Don't think Barry knew where he was, though. He contested against 2 players.
No, I think we can say that Barry had plenty on his mind, trying to beat players and trying to break tackles. Loney in the last line of defence for the Hawks. They have led all night. They led by 13 points at quarter time, 35 points at half time, as much as 48 points in the third term, 24 points at three-quarter time. And now here's Vandenberg testing himself. What a run! Vandenberg keeps on going. He took them all on. He took that ball a good 90 metres. Exhilarating stuff. And we've got a boundary throwing just 30 metres around from goal. Just under 6 minutes left. Hawks by 24 points. They led by 24 points at the last change. Snyder to Shawble. They find some space to Bolton. Chance for Canelli. The run comes from Bolton. Got to back themselves in. Great interception by Hodge. That's what he's capable of doing. Reese goes short. Great vision. Finds Williams. Now this boy is a good kick.
Well, he is a good kick, and he'd be kicking from about 46 metres. And Luke Hodge, we just saw the interception. I think Luke Hodge, as you said, KB, in a draft which was just a brilliant draft.
One of the best ever.
He is a 10-year player for the Hawks. And he could play in a number of positions. I think he'd be a very smart forward. We know he can play on ball. Now he's gone back over the last 2 or 3 weeks.
Williams from just inside 50. This boy's got a lot of talent. He's got a lot of talent. He's got 2. Now, he's only had about 5 or 6 possessions tonight. He's kicked a couple of goals. But his work on the forward line, I reckon, would bring a big smile to Peter Swab, because he does chase hard. He's very, very quick. Puts a lot of pressure on defenders. And there's Hodge. That's class.
It is. And Reese too. He's had the balance and the poise just to pick out Williams. And I look now, Williams has gone. He's kicked the goal. He hasn't come off the ground. What he's done, he's gone to defence, KB. That's the other move they do when you kick a goal. He's playing on Adam Schneider, matter of fact.
Well, the young man from South Fremantle, he'll enjoy tonight.
The Hawks by 30. Another challenge here being mounted by Sydney. Time may be against them. Not if you take great marks like that. Barry Hall.
He's had 16 possessions, 5 marks, and has kicked 3 goals, 1, Barry Hall.
Lining up for goal number 50 for the season. It comes back. It is through. Hall keeping the Swans' chances alive with his 4th.
Well, he just threw Joel Smith out of that contest when he marked that ball. From the centre bounce, Crouch, quick kick, and it went very high. You can see Williams there on Schneider, moved to the back line. Dixon and O'Keefe, and that is just strength.
Hawks still by 24 points. Good kick. 50 goals for the season. And he's mainly played at centre-half
forward instead of full forward.
You talk to Paul Roos, he's mainly been at centre-half forward for most of the year, most games. It's a mighty effort. The Swans still a chance. Lewis Roberts-Thompson comes charging in. Here's a chance. Coming off the square was Fosdyke. Wrapped up in the tackle. Just under 4 minutes. Fosdyke on screen. Coming off the bench tonight, just 6 possessions. Thompson doing the ruck work. Mitchell, fantastic in that first half. Hodge stands and delivers, hammers the ball back. Schauble. Can't waste time now, the Swans on the run. Leo Barry finds Crouch, who is very, very quick. Finds Kirk. Edge of the centre square. Here's a chance. In front, he's got it. Goods. Well, he missed an important goal last week that could have won the game for the Swans. So the gloves come off. Can he kick this one, Tony?
Well, I think, well, he should kick this one. This is the player I said at half-time maybe had to go forward because they needed a different option from O'Loughlin and Hall, although Hall's been very good.
This to get the Swans within 3 goals. He's kicked it. Well, the Swans are alive. 3 goals, Tony. How long they got?
3 quick ones.
3 quick ones.
We've played 25 minutes in this last quarter.
Oh, I think the Hawks will still hang on here. But there it is. Kirk, he's had a good game, Kirk. I thought that Crawford was getting on top of him just after the second quarter. That is a strong mark against Dixon. Ben Dixon will be giving, what, 4 or 5 inches away, you would think, or at least 4 inches to Adam Goods.
Swans refuse to give in here.
They're having a talk there, the 2 boys.
Yeah. 3 goals up. Do you think we can hang on? Yeah. 18 points. Trying to keep this season alive. Just under 3 minutes. Sam Mitchell in and under once again. Just 2 players, or 3 now, Adam Goods, have had 20 disposals. Just 1 for Hawthorn, Mitchell, 26. And Bolton, 23. And Goods, 20. Bounces off the head. Here they go again. Crouch, been important in the last 4 or 5 minutes. O'Keefe didn't go with it. Smith. Well, lost it. O'Keefe. Quick kick round the body. Just to behind. Clock ticking down. They're within 3 kicks now. 17 points.
Crawford. A wise head is needed. Finds Loney. They'll try and run down the clock. So Sydney players will have to man up. And then just wait for the umpire to call play on. So Loney doing it well. Down to 2 minutes. Hammers the ball out wide. Oh, Spider. Couldn't quite take it on the second grab. They've got a ball up.
Every stop play now suits the Hawks.
70 metres.
The umpire's called time on.
Let's have a look at Spider. Got his hands on the ball. Maybe a bit rusty. 70 metres out from goal for the Swans. Fosdyke. Now the whistle is gone. It's a free kick to the Hawks.
Yeah, it was a shepherd off in the ruck. There's Tony Woods, the runner, former Hawthorn player. Be saying we've got 1 minute 30 to go. Let's try and keep possession.
It's like Spider's had a bit of colouring for that tattoo.
Let's play on.
Looks like he's filled it in. Here's Graham. Back to Spider. Raking left foot kick towards the half-forward line. Kirk to Leo Barry. Does well. Leo comes away from half-back. Barry Hall's going to arrive very late. Graham takes an easy mark.
Just on 60 seconds now, though, for Sydney. And Mark Graham very aware of that. As Tony mentioned, Tony Woods has been out there to let them know. And they'll continue to just take their time, Hawthorn. And that famous saying around this time of year, mathematically, they can still make the finals. Certainly, it's been an excellent performance tonight.
Oh, it has been. And the thing is, their run home isn't too hard, so...
Yep. Kangaroos, Carlton.
I don't know what it means about the 8, though. Does it reward mediocrity? Because their first half of the season was pretty ordinary, due to injuries too. They've had all those tools out of the game for a long time.
Yep.
But when they get them all together, Matty, you would think that they've got a fair bit of talent now, and their youngsters, they've stood up tonight. Hodge, Mitchell, Williams. I thought Osborne's been good in defence. Tim Clark on ball.
Loney's been good, yeah. And Everett is a very important return, isn't he?
Yep.
Crouch back towards Creswell. Went without it.
I'll tell you what's happened here, and we've seen it tonight. We knew it was going to be an issue. Jason Ball going down tragically 2 weeks ago is going to be costly for the Sydney Swans. Roberts Thompson is still, we can see him in picture there, number 30. He's still learning the game. Let's see what happens at this contest. Everett just too easy.
Yeah. And Mitchell with another kick forward inside 50 now. Lekis wraps up Bolton, drives him into the dirt. And there it is. Peter Schwab knows that the 9th win for the Hawks, maybe they can still play in September. They've won by 17 points. And for the second time this season, Sydney have been defeated in Sydney. And it was a good performance.
Oh,
a very
good.
Even performance, KB.
Well, I think better than even performance, because they did get 48 points up in that third quarter. We've got to give some credit to the Swans for hitting back, but they were by far the better side on the night. And they were always in control. They led by, 13, 35, 24 points at all the changes. And when you consider they brought back into the side tonight, Holland, Barker, Everett and Graham, it was nearly 700 games of experience, and they used Holland and Barker very sparingly, and Everett as well. And I thought they did very well tonight, Tony. Got the best out of those experienced players, which just really topped up the side. Oh, look, I agree. The way that Peter Schwab used the bench, they used Thompson in the ruck, Everett. I thought Everett's second half, even though not a lot of possessions, he just dominated the ruck and his tap work. And even in the third quarter, the Sydney Swans, when he come back on late in the game, they still were reading the play because they had their time when they were dominating play. That is a great win for the Hawthorn Footy Club. I just wonder now whether the club in itself will make the decision on Peter Schwab before the end of the season, the way they're playing for him at the moment. And good luck to him. He has turned it around. Something that was disastrous and nearly career-ending. Well, they just might come out this week and say, we're pretty happy with what's happening. Let's see if we can do something for next year. Still 3 weeks to go, but you'd hate to think that that last intercept goal by Byron Pickett for Port Adelaide last week would keep them out of the finals. It may come down to that, but who knows? They've still got 3 games to play, and they have to win all 3, you'd think, given that is what happened. The teams at the bottom of the 8 at the moment. But a very dedicated, committed performance. Their tackling was terrific. Their pressure on the Sydney Swans was outstanding, and they will celebrate the win. Well, they've got some good young players. I mean, Sam Mitchell was terrific in the first half. He wasn't as dominant in the second half, but he was outstanding in that first half. Hodge, as we know, is a very talented player. And probably some of the lesser knowns really chipped in at different stages. I thought Williams, I'm very impressed with Mark Williams, Tony. Yeah, Mark Williams is a small forward. And the other one, Tim Clark had the run with roll on Jude Bolton, who's been a very good player for the Swans. Did a good job.
Sam Mitchell had 27 possessions. Now he's been very hard to catch because Tiffany Cherry's been running around the oval trying to find him. He's been clapping his supporters and finally got him. Here he is with Tiff.
I did finally get him. Sam, very important to cheer the supporters there.
Yeah, obviously, you know, it's a long trip for some of them that have come up, and, you know, the support, especially with the tough year that we've had, you know, the support of our supporters has been, you know, second to none, so it's good to encourage them.
And that game there was really a grand final for you guys. I mean, you've got to win it to keep your finals hopes alive in the next 3.
Yeah, we've got to win the next 3 to give ourselves every chance, and, you know, we're still looking to play finals. If everything goes our way, we hopefully can have an impact.
A great game by you, 27 possessions, the most on the ground. You must be wrapped.
Oh, it was just good to come up and have a good win, and, you know, they're a quality side. I'm sure they'll go well in the finals too, so it's just good to have a win.
I mean, just for all the boys, you had 2/3 of the team kick goals. It was a real concerted team effort.
Yeah, it was great. You know, we've really concentrated on sticking together and doing everything together, and, you know, we've really come through that tough time pretty well.
All right, we'll let you go and celebrate. Well done.
VFL Park sprang a leak.
Look at those elated players. Looking for Bright. Oh!
I'm not as the greatest